Good job, buddy. Whew,
Trying
man.
to.
We are live. How's it going out there, world? Trying to work out the bugs in the system. Right? One of the squirrels died, and I got to get a new one. So, trying to get him up and
Gotta
running
grease
so I can
your
send out
hamster
link.
wheel.
Yeah,
You sent
trying to
my
send
link
out
out
link.
just fine.
Yeah, and then I don't know what happened. Trying to get Rebel in here and HDP. I talked to Third Op. He works now on Wednesday nights, so
Right on.
he's good Sunday through Tuesday.
Oh. Yeah. No.
So
That'd be a pain in the ass trying to get everybody's time to actually sync up to when they could do this.
not gonna happen. It's done on Wednesday's the only night and I don't even have that free. I make it free. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's the difference.
Remember when we used to do this every freaking night?
Pretty much, right? Yeah, I can't no more. You know, too many grandkids, too much shit going on all the time. And I don't give a fuck no more, you know, in a lot of ways. I'm happy to see what's going on lately, you know, especially in the world, right? Because to me, Trump's been winning, right? And the Russian stuff that we talked about before the election, right? Or some of us did, when it was after it was exposed to us before the election, the Uranium One deal and all that shit, and just the corruption of the Clintons, you know, people are now going to get to see it because now there's going to be congressional hearings on some of this shit, and you know, the dirty laundry is going to start getting aired, and it's not going to be good for anybody. Rhino, right? Democrat, Republican, because they're all fucking corrupt in the government, and they all got their hand in
Yeah, they
some
said that.
thing, you know.
Saw something with the news where they said the dossier or whatever was funded by Hillary Clinton, the DNC, and one Republican. How much you want to bet that's fucking McCain?
No, I was thinking Jeb Bush actually.
Yeah, that's the other option, but I don't know. The way McCain came out and helped with the Russia narrative from the
Oh
beginning
yeah.
kind of makes me want to say it's probably McCain, but I mean it could be Jeb
Well,
for sure.
I mean, didn't McCain say he was retiring too, and your other senator just came out and retired Flake?
No,
You
McCain
know,
hasn't said if he's going to retire yet or not. I don't think he will.
you
I
don't
don't
think he
know.
will? You think he'll go
I
with his
I hope
brain
he
tumor all the way back in?
I hope he won't retire only because I want to see his ass beat in the primary. I'm happy that Jeff Flake's no longer going to be in there, but I'm kind of pissed that he didn't get his ass handed to him in the primary. You're
Well,
supposed
but
to take your licks.
that's why he did what he did. So he didn't have to take his licks, right? And he
Mm-hmm.
could mouth off on the way out and make himself think he's looking good to his
Yeah.
real constituents, the Democrats, right?
Yeah, and they're all praising him on all the other networks, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's why it pisses me off. I would have rather seen him lose in the primary, and he was going to lose. No, and that's why he quit, because he knew he was going to lose. There was no way he was going to win primary. He came
Mm-hmm.
out with some ads, and I'd post them on Facebook when he did it. He came out with ads saying how he supports border security and all this stuff. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You two-faced lying, talking out of the side of your mouth, son of a bitch. You know? And I read the comments. Not only did I comment on it, but all the, I'd say 90% of the comments were bitching at him for being a two-faced liar. So that's when I kind of knew,
And those
yeah,
are
I don't
some,
think he's going to make it.
well, and he knew that, right? So just by reading the comments, he sees that people are calling him out. That you know, Republicans are calling out Republicans these days. They did it in Alabama of all places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're calling them out. If you ain't acting like a Republican and backing the president and part of the agenda getting fucking the swamp emptied, right? If you're part of that swamp and you don't want to get emptied, well, you're getting run over.
And that's how you know
Hopefully,
he was part of the swamp, is because the swamp ain't going to go down without a fight. They're going to bitch. They're going to moan all the way home. And that's exactly what Flake was doing. Was
And the
he's
other
part of the
guy,
swamp.
Conley, same thing. You know,
Oh my
he's
goodness,
a
yeah.
swamp rat, right? So he's a swamp rat, right? So he is going to do the best he can to try and destroy it because he knows he's on his way out. He knows people are coming up behind him, going to go, we're going to look into all your shit. And if we find stuff that stinks, maybe you'll be another one that's going to end up talking to DOJ or something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice? The only problem is DOJ is just as fucking corrupt, right?
Yeah, when the
And
FBI has to
DOJ
be
can be bought off
investigated.
just as much as any other fucking politician because they're buying agencies by the fucking bucket load of money. Yeah, lost $1 billion in fucking Iraq. Yeah, it never left America. Fuck you.
Oh, I know, man. Watching the news is both exciting and very upsetting at the same time lately. I'm hopeful that people go
Oh
to
yeah,
jail, but
and
I'm sure that not enough will.
look, what's happening, HDP man? And you brought up a great point today when you pointed out, right, that this whole Vegas shooting thing smells stinkier and stinkier by the moment.
Yeah, now his hard drive is missing from a laptop.
Hard drive's missing, but his brothers got busted with child porn on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, guess what, man? There's a lot to stink in this situation.
I want to say that maybe Hillary Rodham Clinton is behind the Vegas shooting.
No,
I wouldn't give her that much credit.
I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on.
You would be surprised, though, right?
But I'm telling you, the way this is being covered up seems like some kind of FBI shit. I mean, his hard drive is missing. They don't know where it is. I mean, he had his laptop in his hotel room. So where the hell could it? You're going to take out that hard drive and put it where? But you're still going to have your laptop in your room? I'm sorry. And now this Jose or this
why would
Jesus
you bring the laptop
dude,
to the room to begin with?
Exactly. This Jesus dude goes down to Mexico with a bullet wound in his leg, drives the whole fucking way. No.
and shows back up to see Ellen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just saw that.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just saw that headline. So Campos went to Mexico today.
Yeah. No, he went like a day or two after the Vegas shooting. He drove
and then went to Ellen. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that was to get his gun running. This is so much.
He got shot in the leg. He got shot in the leg by a high-power rifle. Right.
Well, 5.56, no big deal. It's a flesh wound.
Okay.
I mean, legitimately, gunshot wounds aren't necessarily as debilitating as you might think. If it doesn't take you out, I mean, there's people that have gotten shot
where you get hit
in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, they're back on the front line. I've seen it happen. It's actually, it's possible. Even and we're talking 7.62 AK rounds too, so they're even bigger bullet.
I'll take your expertise on that, but it's still.
But I mean, it's possible. But your average. He goes.
Maybe on your
average Mandalay Bay security guard may not be quite as physically in tune and in shape. Might be one of the problems. This whole thing stinks, Mule. I legitimately my first supposition with this was a DEA, FBI, ETF operation that went bad somehow, but it keeps getting worse and worse. Like, oh yeah, something's definitely going on, worse than we think.
Well,
MGM is incomparable.
At the beginning, everything. I mean, money to fucking mysterious $100,000 that drifts off to fucking the Philippines somehow, and how do you get $100,000 out of the country like that, right? Without it throwing off flags somewhere, right? So,
they flag everything over like $5,000.
Yeah, it used to be 10. Now it's 5. Yeah, most people don't even know that. It used to be 10. Now it's 5.
And today, which may or may not be totally credible or credible at all, but there's the story that the DEA had him flagged for a drug investigation wiretap back in 14 or 13. Like, I can't go through the airport without getting red flags going up, and this guy is just doing whatever he wants. Only people that do whatever they want is somebody that's in on the team,
The reason why you have a healthy colon is because you have to fly every once in a while, right?
It's been a lot, fortunately.
Well, it saves on the proctology exams, right? Go take a flight somewhere. You know, it's just ridiculous. You know, and yet this guy got to, what is he, the accountant? Did they make the movie too early? You know, and instead of being a hitman, out to be, you know,
He's
a
the
mass
one,
killer, or he's both. You know, I don't know.
right?
I don't know. It's fucking all nuts, man. You know, and the Russian thing, it's just that I find fun, right? I'm laughing my ass off over the whole Russian thing. You know, because Russia, we need to investigate the Russian connection to the Trump administration, blah, blah, blah. Turns out all the connections are to the Obama administration and the Clintons. And of course, a whole lot of people getting rich in the government through it, right? Through that funneling money to our government from the Russians. Fuck, how somebody's not hanging from a tree amazes me. But I lived through Iran-Contra, and now they made a movie about it.
Yeah, kind of wonder
With
if anybody
bomb.
does go to jail, how long it'd even be, you know?
Yeah.
These people have a way of getting off even when they get busted.
Well, especially the wealthy who are. But, you know, it's funny. There's a movie out right now called American Made, and it bombed, right? Tom Cruise movie, action, right? And you know what it's about, right? It's about that drug runner that was flying cocaine into Arkansas and having it spread out throughout the state to go on to the rest of the country, right? Part of the CIA op that actually started the Clintons' career, right, in true national politics through the corruption of that situation with the CIA.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'll have to look into it, though. That's cool.
They made a new movie about it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, look up Iran-Contra.
I saw like the commercials for it or whatever. I didn't even try to put together that it was historically based.
As soon as I see Tom Cruise,
like...
I turn out, you know, I don't want to watch that.
Well, it's funny because they also made a movie about, and it's funny, in a movie, right, award-winning or whatever, right, movie about the reporter who helped break Iran-Contra and prove the fact that the CIA was helping them smuggle cocaine up to the United States to be able to fund their war against Nicaragua, or against El Salvador, right? So, and that dude ended up, you know, committing suicide, right?
Right.
So, but then a couple of years later, they make a great movie about him and hail him as a liberal hero, because it was against the Reagan and Bush 1 governments, right? But during the whole time, everybody kept it hush, 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 hush. And even after they made a movie, it bombed. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares how far back you can trace this corruption. They don't care right now that it's getting exposed through Trump, be it by ineptitude, which some people believe, or by, you know, somewhat skill.
I'm curious about how everything's going to come out on Friday, too, about the JFK stuff and what's all going to be in that.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what's going to be in that. A lot of black magic marker.
Right? Obviously.
But hell, that's more than most presidents would do. You know what I'm saying? The CIA comes knocking and say, hey, we don't even want to have to go through with a marker. You know, and he's like, yeah, you better. You know? Because it's going out. It's just that simple. We need transparency in government. The good, the bad, the ugly, right? That's the only way that this thing can actually work, if it's going to anymore.
Thank God for people like Julia Son.
Because it would not surprise me if we balkanize, right? Which is the new term for a country breaking up into states.
We can hope.
Yeah, and some of us do, right? And HCP's in that states' rights, believing that, you know, his state will come out the winner in that kind of endeavor if he isn't annexed into the West Coast.
I didn't say we'd come out a winner. I just think it's a better solution. better
Well,
than the
yeah, I like
alternative.
the original idea of the United States as it was. The state was supposed to be its own friggin' thing, its own country. The Constitution, right, was the only thing that was supposed to be the same over all the states. Other than that, it was up to each state on how they wanted to run it. I mean, correct me if
Which
I'm
I think we'd
wrong.
all agree on would work, but it's not the way it's working now.
Yeah.
Right now, we have this federal overlord that we got to break up. You know.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that's what Trump's doing. And people can say it's ineptitude, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He came in saying he was going to cut the government, and he's been doing it, you know, through regulation, through hiring and firing and all that shit, too. You know, he's thinning down the government. That's one of them things, again, twinning.
It should be a very interesting year.
It's been a long year, man.
Yeah.
It's been a long, and it's going to just get longer, right? Because not you, but maybe HTV might have to worry about it. I don't know if you have Antifa in Reno. Do you?
Well, there's a college there, of course we do. I mean, any college
So
town.
there you go.
I mean, Northern Arizona's probably got people running. I mean, it might be just 5 people, but
well, yeah, I mean, Flagstaff has a university, right? But I'd say at least an hour away from Flagstaff. You know, we're out in the boons. Even the nearest city, Ash Fork, is, I don't even know, population 500 maybe.
Yeah,
I think
close
when it comes to this.
Go ahead, HT.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was just going to say, I mean, I think the YouTube community has put out a good message over the last 2 weeks, I think, as this November 4th thing has come up. A lot of the channels are like, hey, you're always going to be ready, but don't be stupid enough to go out there and engage these folks in the street when the police can take care of it, you know? Most of the channels, it seem like, are promoting, be ready like you always are, be aware, but don't get out there and try to tangle with these people, which like a month ago when it first came out, like people were like, oh no, there's going to be this big thing. Like, well, if the police can't handle it, obviously something's going to happen, but you let the police go and crush them, I guess you'd say.
Might just be my opinion, but I think it's an all big to do about nothing. When you hype it up this much for this long, and everybody fucking knows about it, it's going to be nothing if anything at all. I don't know.
If it happens, I agree. 99% of it's much ado about nothing. If it happens, it's going to happen in democratically controlled cities where the only people that they're fighting against is a government that they want there.
Yeah. They're burning their own shit down at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Well,
unless you're too close to Chicago.
It is what it is. Yeah. I'm not that close to Chicago where that would have to matter to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I live in a rural area to where, no, my neighbors ain't going to get up and riot in the streets for Antifa. No. If you look county by county, we went red. Right? We voted Trump. That shit ain't happening here. So, and that's what everybody's doing. Nobody's doing nothing. You know, they're like, hey, isn't like Veterans Day up on the 5th or something like that? Or isn't there another different holiday coming up in November?
Veterans Day is the 11th. It's the next
week. The 11th. Yeah. Okay. So.
No, there's Thanksgiving in November. That's about it.
No, but there is like a National Carry Day or something like that. Go to your state house to help fight any.
Oh, well, they were trying to promote that. Matt put that out.
Any legislation, yeah. And you know what? I need it.
Right? Do rallies at the state capitals or something.
Even though it failed here in Illinois, they're of course throwing it up again about the bump fire and any kind of basically the same shit they threw up in the Congress, where it's basically any semi-automatic. You know. So, and it didn't go anywhere here. I don't think it's going to go anywhere anyway, but they are doing a rally here, and if I can get a ride, I'm going to go. You know. But other than that, you know, again, the stuff that's going on in Congress, it ain't going nowhere, and they know it. keep calling your congressman. That's why they know it, right? Because people like us call your congressman, and that's how they know these things. And anything, right? Just like the NFL is learning that, they better listen to the American people when it comes to respecting them at least, and it's costing them money by disrespecting. You have to do it within your money. That's where your power is. Your money, your phone call, your vote. Right? That's where your power is. Namely your money. Right? And otherwise, get ready for the shit hitting because it's weirder and weirder every day. We were saying this 5 years ago how weird it is out there. Oh, look at how strange it is out there. Blah, blah, blah. And that was before riots, right? Now, it's fucking ridiculous.
You got a friggin' communist party going out there supposedly against fascism, which is basically against freedom.
But
they're the new KKK, It's hilarious.
It's not just them. Well, them going against the First Amendment is what cracks me up the most,
Right.
It's just insane, the world we live in now. And, that's why I had to share that thing on Facebook, right? Because at least, even hippies and weirdos stood for Jimi Hendrix's version of the, national anthem. Yeah. Right? Carry that around as their proof of Americanness, right?
Did Martin Luther King kneel for the flag? No, he stood up for it and pledged allegiance to it and said, this one's mine. This flag is mine. It represents me. I'm part of the American dream too. And that's how they don't want to be part of America. They want to be a communistic state or socialism or whatever.
This is how I know it's bigger than that, right? Because now I'm starting to hear grumbles in that movement, right? And some of the little feelers I have about, they're starting to talk about national borders are racist.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Well, that's what the whole La Raza people have been going for decades too. They're just joining forces. It's pretty much been the push. I mean, that whole workers' movement, communist idealism has been sowed in lots of different areas over the last couple of decades.
It's funny, though, if Mexico wants a southern border wall, that's okay.
Well, I mean, I'm sure everybody by now has seen that video, right? Of Good Morning America or whatever, talking to a border control agent down by the walls that they're building for testing, right?
Oh yeah.
And right behind them, as they're going through this anti-border wall, GMA news time or whatever the hell it is, right? Section of their show, a family jumps the border and runs right to the border patrol because they know they're going to get, a nice free trip to wherever they want in the country if they have relatives, right? Once they get their ticket to appear to the local immigration area. And I'll tell you what, to me, watching that video is nothing more than the greatest stinking, ad for a wall. Here they are shitting on the idea, and yet right in front of their faces, somebody jumps the border. Hilarious. And it's such a weird world. I mean, we see that, and the cognitive dissonance becomes so out of hand, because they can't even equate 1 and 1 to 2 anymore. It's become something else. Fucking California is going to recognize a third gender. The fuck is the third gender?
I thought they recognized like 52 or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
No, but from their government, the government of California has signed into law
they recognize like 62 or something.
Yeah, if you want to on your driver's license, you can be an X or some shit like that.
Oh my
People
God!
lost their minds.
It really does come down to they've lost their faith. They don't believe in a God anymore. They don't believe in any kind of retribution. They've gone hedonistic. You've seen it throughout societies. It's pretty simple.
Well, everybody creates their own reality. It's transhumanist Scientology mixed into a big bag and combined with some sort of communist socialism, and
you can be the leader of the
California.
NCAA if you're a white woman, but you identify as black.
You mean NAACP?
Whatever. I care that much that I don't know.
NCAA.
Isn't that like
Right
college
on.
basketball?
Well, that's college athletics. Yeah.
Right, there you
go. That's pretty good.
It's funny, So I mean, I guess I can use the N word as long as I first identify as being black.
It's just always. It's gotten to the point where the whole culture seems to be dissolving, and the stupidity of our culture is we want to include all these people and think they're just going to think our way of life is the greatest and they should join it and become one of us. And no, most of them don't want to. They just want to, you want to give them free shit, they're going to take free shit. You know how hard it is to get a cell signal in fucking, Syria?
Well, they got some pretty good phone systems over there.
But okay, all right, so whatever. You'd
be surprised you'd be surprised what your average goat herder in Afghanistan can pull up.
Oh,
yeah, I would be.
All that goat porn.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt, I would be. But you know what I'm saying is here it's a little better, right? He's got goats. Yeah. He's got 2 goats instead of 20 in a truck. Is what he'd have here. It's just ridiculous, man. It's just getting crazier and crazier by the fucking day, and Hollywood doesn't want to admit it's bullshit, so it's trying to dodge a bullet, and yet it's coming, right? Every little thing, the walls are cracking.
Yeah, I guess Corey Feldman is now saying that he's actually going to come forward and name names, or what?
I guess so. I guess he's got enough interest to where people. He said look. The fucking kid's crazy. Okay. I don't know if you can believe any of what he says at this point, and that's the problem, right? Because when you get raped as a child and then presented to the world, and all your money's stolen, and you go fucked up and crazy.
Right.
How can people believe what you have to say? They'll believe what they want to hear is what they'll do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Hopefully he's got a little bit of evidence, but I doubt it.
Oh, dude, it wouldn't be surprised if, and look, would not be surprised there's plenty of evidence out there. I watched this movie that I shared. It's called Open Secret. Right? So they already know all about this shit. They already know. They know about a lot of these big directors. Fuck, they still want Roman Polanski to come make movies again. Here, we'll sacrifice another 13-year-old to you. Here you go, buddy.
Yeah,
come make
the people in Hollywood definitely know stuff like that and about Harvey Weinstein and all that. It's the American people, and I guess the court system that needs to know.
Hold on. We fucking knew. Most of us out here in the middle, and you know what? We knew. We fucking knew they were up. Nobody's shocked or awed or surprised about the fucking Sodom and Gomorrah attitude that comes out of Hollywood or Vegas or any of that shit. We knew, right? We fucking knew. But that shit's as corrupt as possible. It's been our entertainment for fucking 50 years watching that shit. Right? On the silver screen, on the small screen, in the tabloids, from papers all the way up till today. The celebrity culture. We've known. That's why most of these people ain't going to jail. Weinstein's not going to go to fucking jail. It's just not going to happen. And you know what's going to happen? The same shit that people are going to care about this about in 3 to 6 months about as much as they give a shit about the NSA tapping their phones right fucking now.
Right.
It's still going on. Nothing's changed. Every conversation you have is somewhere being stored in metadata to be screened through if they ever need it, which is what they're doing with this fucking Vegas guy, right? I don't want to say his name, but that's what they're doing with
him. They have all the records on his ass.
Well, they have plenty, but they ain't going to admit it, especially not if he works for them in any form, fashion, or size, and they find out about it. Fuck no. because we'd have a lot more. Look, this is my tinfoil hat. We'd have a lot more information, right, given to us as the American people if he was just a fucking lone nut job kind of shit. If this wasn't something that's gone wrong and they had to do quick cleanup with, right? Like HDP's, kind of hinted at, right? So
I don't see how you come to any other conclusion that a guy who's supposedly nobody in his family or anything knows that he's a gun guy, but he's got some of the highest end, most well manufactured firearms out there, and nobody knows that he's into this stuff. Are you serious?
Isn't it that he only picked those up in the last few years as well? Like before
the last few years. I don't care if it was 1 week. What does the average guy do when he starts out? You get the lowest budget, basic thing you want. I mean, even though this guy's a rich guy and he can afford whatever he wants, apparently, but that's debatable too because he was probably just laundering the money and he was allowed to skim a little bit to keep it.
Well, if he had all this money, why wouldn't he just buy a fully automatic?
Yeah, and his record's so goddamn clean, like they say. If he just squeaky
off
clean,
the books too. You could buy off the books full auto somewhere.
Look, you live in Arizona, thing. You know as well as I do. Right, you go further down, closer to south of the border. Shit flows back and forth, right? So you might not be able to get a full auto here, but you go visit across 5 miles of desert, you might be able to pick that shit up. You know what I'm saying? You got money. Yeah. Money talks, bullshit walks. I can get one here in Illinois easily, quickly. 3 phone calls in 2 hours and $2,000, and I'm good to go.
Pretty much. I mean, shit, nowadays with 3D printers, how hard would it be to just print a freaking auto sear? I mean, come on.
Yeah, especially with the new metal fucking ones that are out there, the metal maker bots, 3D printing with metal. How hard would it be to program in a fucking auto sear for an AR?
Not very.
Yeah, there's no motive.
I wouldn't do bump fire for something like that.
There's no Occam's razor answer that he snapped and just that doesn't exist. So he didn't just snap and just decide to go off on hate society or nothing like that. He didn't just hate white people. It doesn't seem like country music. So those answers are out the window. So at that status, get tens of dozens of firearms that we found that we know of. And high-end stuff, and what is he doing with it? Unless
Hillary Clinton got $145 million just recently, so...
Well, no,
and we know she's shady, and we know the simple answer to that. So his answer is the same way.
But that was like 7 years ago, so not recently. At 145 mil is 7 years ago.
Yeah, well...
Right.
I don't know. It's some agencies involved in that, or we would have more information for. Unless I don't know. And I'm trying to think of some other reason why they wouldn't let this shit out.
Well, there's only one.
I would just like to see anybody here, anybody in the chat, just get $5,000 and try to wire it overseas and see what happens. See how much you get rolled over by any various agencies from the Treasury Department to the DEA. They're all going to come investigate and just put you in a little black box in a room somewhere. $100,000 to a third world country who doesn't have an extradition treaty? That's not going to go well for you.
Well, you know what? I kind of wonder because a lot of these times where they say that they stop terrorism, half the time they're the ones that try to set it up and entrap somebody by saying, here's the stuff to make a bomb. And then they're like, oh, busted. Hey, we stopped a terrorist act. What if they were trying to do that same shit with him and they didn't stop it, and now they've got to cover their own asses because they're the ones that fucking supplied them all the weapons in the first place?
That's one of my theories is that his little girl was tied into Abu Sayyaf somehow, and they found out he was not as what he portrayed to be and took him out. Yeah. Abu Sayyaf being the communist Muslim infiltrators in the Philippines.
Yeah, they've actually got like an island, one of the islands out in the Philippines that are under their control. Hey, what's up, third option? Saint Sappers, Yankee, Mindy Patriot, Partisan Guerrilla. Third option's out there, by the way. I sent him a link, but he's working on Wednesdays.
Did you put the link in the descriptions as well?
Oh, yeah, the link's in the description below for anybody who wants to join. What's up, J. Watt? Stan, Truth Freeze, and that covers everybody I can see. How y'all doing? We got 19 watching now. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this crazy shit happens, and there's so much crazy shit happening, right? And so much of it's breaking down and getting exposed, right? The shit with the Bundys, breaking down and getting exposed, yet doesn't stop them from continuing to torture these guys, but it is coming out, right, and being shown. You know, more people, well, I don't know if more people are finding out or if it's just the same people are finding out the fucked up shit that's going on. Because I'll tell you what, and I mentioned this the other day on Facebook even, that anytime I post something that's important, nothing, right? Crickets, no likes, no shares, none of that kind of shit. Maybe one, maybe two, right? I post the most innocuous shit, and all my friends get to see it, and they speak up and think it's cool, blah, 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 whatever, right? You know, even like my kid photos. If you'll see a photo of my grandchild and me, or ones that I've posted, but you won't see, you know, a petition I've posted or some fucking deep story I've posted. You know, it won't come up in your feed anywhere. No matter what venue I take to post those stories. These algorithms have it all down now. And they're filtering everything, man. It's getting harder and harder to find any real hard facts and information.
Well, I've decided that I've completely gone off the deep end because when Alex Jones starts sounding correct and not like a madman who's talking about gay frogs, it's a scary moment, you know?
Hey, I'm with you, Stinger, because when I start agreeing with Yankee Marshall, it's like a Twilight Zone. And the Yankee Marshall's put out 2 videos this week. I'm like, wait, I've said this exact same thing.
I actually watched a Yankee Marshall video yesterday for the first time in, I'd say, at least 3 years. And I thought I was going to hate him because he was I thought I was going to hate the video, but he was basically going off on all these gun channels or whatever for their stance with the NRA and all that. And I was like, God damn it, I'm agreeing with his ass.
Right.
Yep, and that's because of that's because of HDP sharing that shit, because I haven't been subbed to him in about 2 or 3 years, right? Yeah. And so HDP shared it. I watched that one, and then he shared the next one where he goes off on Jaeger, you know, and I had to watch it. So now I've watched 2 fucking Yankee videos and goddamn first time in 3 years, and I agreed with them both times.
I think I've reached my limit for at least another month. I'll check out that other video later when I've cooled down.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, it was good. It was like straight up, but yeah.
I have been watching a lot of your blog videos, though. Those are pretty cool. Sorry, go ahead.
They are his vlogs.
Yeah,
looked like I thought Rebel was going to start doing them in competition with you, but
he quit.
Yeah. He finished that about as much as, you know.
He got 2.
He got his quota in for the year. He's good.
Yeah.
Now, I was kind of doing that kind of stuff when I was up at the property, but, you know, while I'm in the city, there ain't nothing to really talk about other than politics. And now I get tired of talking about politics. So.
Me too, man. That's why one night a week, you know, I'm good with it on a Wednesday, middle of the week, get through the hump. You know, even though sometimes it gets noisy as hell in my house. Sounds like yours too.
Yeah. Heidi's moving some stuff around. We're getting ready to throw a lot of crap out. We're purging all of our useless stuff that we held for a long period of time.
Even though now you have room for it all.
In the same place for.
No, it's all right, hon. You do you.
You're right, third option, by the way. Hey, what's up, Cobra? Hey, Cobra. You want to pop your Green Dragon Cherry for real? Follow the link in the description and you'll come on in.
That's disturbing.
The Cobra Burnout?
Yeah, Real Cobra Burnout. What's up, Cobra?
Mule says to come on in. He'll
Real
pop
Cobra,
cherry.
not the fake. Even though the
Right,
fake
right.
Cobra burnout, he's pretty funny too.
I don't know.
You
I
know?
didn't know there was one.
But third out mentioned that he's right. YouTube and all these fucking things are doing selective censorship. They're throttling people's shit. They're
Yeah, I've
they're
never
letting you
cared
they're
about the.
letting you post it, but they're not letting you. They'll say you're sharing it, and you're not. It's
Yeah, I've
not
never
getting
cared
out there
about the
like.
monetization. The monetization was kind of nice. I used to get, actually, when I was back in my heyday, not doing political stuff, I was making probably $600 a month, which, for somebody who was just doing
Hey,
it out
that's
of
an
the
AR.
yeah. Well, I wasn't spending it on that, right? That was before I was woke
Of
up.
course
So
not.
I'm spending it on video games. I spend it on some new bumpers for my Mustang.
But still,
All sorts of
hey,
stupid shit. But
yeah.
I just like, if it wasn't for the monetization, I could give a shit. But if they're gonna make it so people can't even find the video, that's bull crap.
And that's the fucked up. Well, if you're doing innocuous shit, right? So if you're doing vape stuff, they'll do it, no problem, right? Because vape isn't illegal everywhere, blah blah blah, right? You're doing gun shit, they're throttling you. You're doing political shit and it's to the right, they're throttling. If it's to the left, they're pushing that shit out there. Fucking Vox came across my fucking thing about some gun control bullshit. And I'm like, the fuck, are you kidding? I can't tell you how many times
I
I've
watched
gotten rid
Vox
of their
for the first time. The first time I watched Vox was just the other day, and I was surfing YouTube with Mark Dice and all this stuff, and all of a sudden it comes up with Vox, and it was the day of the election, and why Trump came so close to winning. And thank God we dodged that bullet, kind of a video, right? And I'm just laughing my ass off the whole damn time because they did that like hours before the election results, right? And then, of course, I have to watch the video right after that to see the follow-up, which was even better. But I haven't watched any other Vox other than that.
I don't watch that shit. And you know what? It keeps coming across. Similar BuzzFeed. That shit comes across my shit. And it's like, no. Always on the homepage.
How do you? I don't get that in my feed. How do you get that? Like on your sidebar?
Yeah.
Huh. Kind of crap
or
are
on
you
the
watching?
Homepage, on the homepage in the recommended. Well, I do watch some. I do watch a lot of liberal crap. I keep up on. I have learned early to pay very close attention to people who I disagree with. Right.
Yeah.
So that way I can concentrate on countering any kind of argument in the political realm before I have to shoot them in the face.
It's good policy.
So
I like that, Mule.
I like to win the argument first before I have to go to the violence, right? But I'm always good with the violence, but I think that's the last resort, right?
Of course, yeah.
So I pay attention to what my enemies pay attention to, so that way I know what my enemies are thinking and I can counter it. And these days, they're fucking crazy. Okay? So, I mean...
I can't take much of it. It numbs my brain.
I was trying to think who did the... it was... there's a new channel I just subscribed to recently. He's huge. I just found him, though. It's High Impact Flicks. Or High Impact Fix or something like that.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
about.
A lot of this. Yeah, he's done that shit for years. Yeah, and he exposed a lot of stuff.
I just came across him because of the Las Vegas thing.
But
I just came across him with his Vegas stuff and what he was doing, and he did a video recently just about what you're saying. Like, it's about them, being fair and meeting the terms of service. If you compare what Google says on the terms of service, and you compare what they put on and they restrict and they flag and what they promote, he showed a video that was being promoted as a high premium, because I guess the ads are different if they play full length. It's a premium ad, it's a non-skippable ad, and that was attached to some left-wing far crap, but his stuff, and yeah, whoever you're showing there, Stinger.
Well, I just showed it for the people out in the chat room.
Yeah, and he was showing how his videos he doesn't curse, he's not sensational. He discusses things and he shows information, but he gets, subdued and, put in a corner, basically, and restricted. while all the Young Turks, they go out there and run their mouths and say whatever they want, curse and swear and everything else, but they don't get censored at all.
You have to meet their agenda
So it's
in order for
obviously
it not to get censored.
It's an agenda, so it's not. They're not meeting their own terms of service. If somebody could pay a lawyer enough, you know, you could do some damage. But
well, I
don't
would
know if
love to see the government coming in and breaking up that monopoly a little bit too.
What monopoly?
The monopoly of Google.
Well, Google's not a monopoly. They're an internet service. There's enough competition.
I don't know.
Well, there is. You know, there is competition. I don't know if it's enough.
Just because you're big doesn't mean you're a monopoly.
Yeah. And YouTube, look,
terms of service.
I've signed up to a couple of different other sites. You know, that's one of the reasons why I do the Blog Talk Radio thing. It has nothing to do with YouTube or Google. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I've started branching out. Now, I've found that the Patreon thing, the more I'm looking into it, it's turning into basically its own YouTube, but it's a pay YouTube with a lot more advantages to it, right? So I'm, where was this 5 years ago? Would have been great, but, we were also kind of freebooting, and, we didn't like paying for shit, and most of us still don't if we don't have to, right?
We're all like asking people to spend money to watch my stuff either, but.
Right, and the advantage to YouTube is it's more searchable by the general public.
Yes.
But obviously Google's found a way around that, and they've found a way to run the algorithm so people can't search for your stuff. So,
but there are other, and I was just using Patreon as an example, right? There's other free ones out there, Minds, and a couple others I've signed up for, and I keep forgetting that I do that, because I'm always looking for an alternative to YouTube, because YouTube, when we all jumped in, right, at the times we did, it was freebooting. You were able to make some money off of it too, but it was very open, and they were very lax in their terms of service, and very allowable of the freedom of it, right? But now with Google in control, and the second they started grasping it, they started restricting shit more and more.
Well, this will show you how long I've been on YouTube. I was in YouTube before everybody and their brother could make money. I became a partner back when you actually had to prove that you were good enough to make money in order to become a partner. And then a year after that, then they let everybody be a partner, which was like, that's bullshit.
I'm part of that same crew, and I was never good enough to make partner for quite a while, because first I was just a watcher, and then I started making videos, and all of a sudden I did make partner, and that shit was awesome, right? But my videos weren't doing shit. I just put up enough videos. That was the beauty of it. You just cracked the number, and it was good enough. For those of us who didn't have views, who were putting out, the Rubik's Cube, how to fix it in a second, so that way, they made $1 million. They made
actually most of my videos that did well, that I actually got paid the most of, was my Big Brother TV show recap. The CBS reality show Big Brother, for those who don't know. Me and my whole family did a little recap show called Behind the Screens on that, and we did it probably every day of the week, about 6 videos, and I would get probably 8 to 10 to 12,000 views per video per day, and that's doing 6 videos a week. And I got to interview cast members and people that were actually part of CBS in the show. So, I mean, it was pretty
when
cool.
You were doing, what was it? Brother? Whatever? Big Brother?
Big Brother, yeah. And now I'm worried about really Big Brother watching me.
Third option says that, it seems like YouTube may have agreements with other companies out there not to so they are less involved with those in terms of ad friendly. YouTube says
Google tries to demean other sites that compete with it, and try to not let them come up in your search. Like if you search for certain things that compete with Google, they won't want to show it to you.
I don't doubt that at all. Is Vimeo owned by Google? Anybody know?
I have no idea.
I would. Well, I
Google
don't
it,
know
right?
because
Fucking Stinger, Google it.
I have no idea.
Where the hell is John? Where the hell
yeah,
is? Go ahead. Would you say, AC?
I was going to say, when did Google take over YouTube? Does anybody remember what year? Was it 13, 14?
Something like that.
No, it was before then, wasn't it? Yeah, it had.
Was it before that?
It was like 2010, 2011.
Oh, was it that long ago? Wow.
I think it was. Because I remember it was like right when I was starting to do more videos again, which is it was like 2011. So that's what I think off the top of my head. I could be wrong.
Well, it was whenever we all started having like multiple accounts, right? Because I had my first account, right? And then they started for some reason kept asking us to change and join and change and join. I had my first
Google Plus
for years. And then all of a sudden I ended up with 10, 12 accounts.
Yeah, that was back in like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was before then?
Yeah, I think I think Google had the company like a year before they did that too. There was a progression. Okay. So that was like a year or more after they actually bought it. So yeah, I guess maybe 2010 might be about right.
No, this NBC News thing that I just Googled says Google buys YouTube for $1.65 billion, and that was in October 10th, 2006.
Damn.
What?
So that was shit. That was before I even got on. I'll be honest. I got on like 8.
Right.
So where's the date?
I'm coming on my 10 year. I made my first video in like 11, maybe. 1.65 billion.
Yeah.
So shit, they were letting it freeboot for a while.
Yeah.
Before they started really sticking their nose in. But now everything's so damn throttled by all these goddamn algorithms that are controlled by people with agendas. More than just selling you crap. Trying to get you to produce more crap so you can sell more crap so they can make more wealth.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see the crap they promote with cosmetics channels and just junk. It's just it's just commercialism.
Well, this whole adpocalypse thing was bullshit because they were saying how the advertisers they didn't want their stuff being advertised. But when I was doing gun videos, I was getting gun ads on my videos. They don't allow those kind of people to advertise anymore through Google. So therefore, everybody who advertises with Google now doesn't like it because they pretty much said, no, you can't advertise on our shit because we don't like what you're advertising.
Right.
But then the NRA still dumps a shitload of money in them because I still get fucking NRA ads.
Well, the NRA.
Dana Loesch is like on every other ad or something.
Yeah. So who jumped in?
The liberals love the NRA. I mean, come on, they're for gun control too.
Oh no, you turned off the light behind you, huh?
I got somebody turned it out for me.
Okay.
Come back. I got the lights turned out on me apparently.
I thought somebody else came in. I'm like, what? Had to go check the computer because I got the phone right down here on my keyboard, and the camera's better on this phone, and the fucking mic's better on this phone than my computer. It's ridiculous. Never thought it'd be like that. Peel to heaven. There you go. You show that one at a rally, people don't know what the hell you're talking about. Then they'll call you a Christian supremacist.
All right.
Which is really, that's my basic stance in all this. Is we've taken morality out of our country in one form or another, right? We killed God. We've come up with pure hedonism at this point. The pure self, the ultimate id, right? Every man for themselves, and do whatever the hell makes you feel good with no repercussions to the end. I mean, California is saying it's not illegal to give somebody AIDS without them knowing.
Oh, but if you call somebody the wrong pronoun repeatedly, you will actually get more jail time doing that than you will giving somebody a deadly fucking disease.
right?
Yeah.
It's bizarro world.
Well,
I agree with you on the morals.
It's because we're living through it. But if you go look at history, right, which, crack a fucking book sometime, not you guys, but, the goddamn country in general, we can avoid this because you would see that this is exactly what's happening when civilizations fall. Not just
Rome is a
empires,
prime
civilization.
example.
Right.
And on top of it, it's like they've let Europe's let the Hun into the door, right? They say, come on in, Genghis. No, we're going to feed you, clothe you until you're ready to kill us all. When you are, let us know.
Yeah, I never got that mentality. They're allowing Islamic people coming in and committing terror acts, and then when something happens, you're not allowed to say it's terror related. So they're cowering to the Islamic people, which are then committing terror. I don't understand why anybody would do that, because they would like to see you all dead, including the people who are out there saying that we shouldn't, be hating on the Islamic people.
Well, because they've convinced themselves they don't have the right to judge anybody, anything, because
unless you're conservative.
Well, and the only reason why they judge conservatives is because they consider conservatives judgmental, right? You don't agree with what this person does.
This kind of logic that makes my mind numb is because
yes,
the Muslims don't believe in homosexuality. They would rather stone y'all. I mean, look at the nightclub in Miami. But no, we shouldn't say he is a Muslim or a terrorist because that's insensitive. But he wants to go ahead and kill a whole bunch of homosexuals.
They try and claim Muslims are feminists, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
That's the funniest thing going, right? So, but it's the cognitive dissonance, and it's become so common that is the new form of common sense, is because everybody's doing it. It used to be common sense was a good thing because we all had a common place. We understood as humanity. We all put our pants on the same way, right? But now the common sense is cognitive dissonance. We don't believe shit that's true. We think there's a flat earth. The fucking moon is made of green cheese and nobody ever went there. And, fuck, man, it's gotten ridiculous, I'll
tell you what, it's like the conservatives are now the new counterculture,
Yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen, right? And that's what you're going to see a lot of,
hey,
right? What's up? What's up, Real Cobra Burnout? Boom. I think you might have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, you're muted. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up, buddy?
I just wanted to pop my Green Dragon cherry.
Oh.
And you did, my friend. You did.
Was it good?
As many of the inner circle have.
Yeah, I'll have to mark this down in the memoirs.
Oh yeah,
right.
This is definitely something you want to remember.
Don't worry, the NSA's got it tracked for you. You're good.
Right.
Oh, good. Yeah. I don't like having to do extra work.
There you go. Well, you're paying for it. You might as well benefit from it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, believe me, he's easy to track, though. He kind of has an aura about him.
We don't talk about such things.
He has a tendency to glow a little bit more than most.
Now I'm curious as all hell. I'm gonna have to go check out your channel.
Ooh, that would be like a huge mistake.
Not like I've never done that before.
What is this guy doing?
Right.
What a moron! Yeah.
How's everything going, buddy?
A lot better. Yeah.
Your daughter okay?
Yeah. Taking her back down to the hospital tomorrow just for a checkup and hopefully get the PICC line out. And but she's doing way better than she was, this time last week. So very happy.
Awesome. I'm praying for her every day, man. And I'll tell you, them PICC lines, while they're a pain in the ass, they're better than getting stuck all the time.
Oh yeah. She's getting the antibiotics through that every day, definitely. Cause yeah.
Been there, done that. 2 hours a day. Yep.
I hear that. Yeah. I appreciate the prayers and stuff like that.
Well, it's awesome to hear she's doing good and that getting on the road to recovery. That's awesome.
Yeah, Yes, sir.
And let the wife know that praying for you guys and the family.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah.
No doubt, buddy. No doubt. So, what do you think of the situation we're in? Can it get any fucking crazier, Matt, or what?
I tell you what. Just when I think it can't get any crazier, it probably will.
Yeah.
It's
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like I'm in a dream at sometimes with Trump in office and still, we've, I can't believe it's October's almost gone. Trump's in office and we're still talking about Russia and stupid shit like that,
But the script has flipped. That's the only
recently.
reason
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the Russia talk right now.
I've been numb to a lot of the Russia stuff for a while because I'm like, there's nothing here, and eventually it all comes back to roost, and here we go, finally.
Well, and that's the funny thing is the truth's coming out to where it's showing that there is nothing there on the Trump side, but there is shit here.
Yeah, but now you're going to have to investigate the investigators, which that's going to be an interesting way of doing things.
Right.
Yeah, because Mueller's just as culpable as so is what Ron Rothstein or some shit like that is the other guy's name. That's still in the government.
There's Eric Holder that's going to have to be done too, and
oh well, look, they all know that shit. Why do you think they were pushing so hard and should have pushed harder for Hillary? Right? Honestly, because the only way they knew the Joker was coming. He said it from the beginning. He's still my guy because he is the Joker. I never thought I'd be saying, thank God the Joker's in there, and I feel I'm glad that he's there and destroying the government, and exposing all this bullshit.
Can you imagine if Hillary had won?
Oh, God.
When would have we ever talked about deep state except for us tinfoil hat people, the conspiracy theorists that everybody downplays, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody understands what the deep state's all about now. Not all about, but it's at least been exposed to the general zeitgeist in a way that even though they accept it, they know about it, right? And that's the scary thing when we laugh about the NSA. They know about the fucking deep state. They understand it's out there doing dastardly shit. They watch it on TV sometimes or go to the movies that show it.
Yeah, it's even in the movies and TV shows. They talk about all that all the time. I mean, look at House of Cards. Is that life or art imitating life?
Well, as I've grown older, I start to realize an administration, especially when it's in power for 8 years, how many tentacles they can put out into the administration, and these are unelected officials that are still in office once the next party takes over. It's like, wow. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are just holdovers.
But not just that, they're all in collusion, Matt. That's the fucked up thing about it, right? We're being shown with these rhinos bailing, and because they know shit's coming their way too, right? So let me get away from the fan as fast as possible. So they're all in collusion. The government was working against the people for so long that they think that's their job, and here we let somebody, hopefully for the people as much as possible, and it's thrown a wrench into the works. And none of them know what to do.
Right.
And meanwhile, he's getting his agenda done slowly. I mean, look, he's been talking about fake news for a year now or more, right? And it comes out, shit like this comes out.
Yep.
And people go, holy shit, he's right again. Winning.
Exactly.
Holy shit, he was right again. Winning. ISIS, put back to, heading back to the caves, right? Shit that Obama could have done from the very beginning, but he didn't. And
they're
nobody
taking
wants
credit
to talk
for that,
about
though. They're taking credit for that. They're saying that Trump is just doing what Obama had already put in place like a year or two before. And so
that's
therefore
what they're
it's
gonna
Obama.
say.
Yeah, I know. It's just
but
funny
even if
because
you put in place, you didn't implement the plans, right? That was like the Moab, right? The mother of all bombs. Design, the design curve of that was under the Obama administration, and they never dropped one because once they didn't saw how much damage it did, they were like, Oh, it might hurt the poor goat along with the herder.
Yeah.
You know? Fuck
Oh,
him. What
I'm
did Trump
glad.
do? He calls up Mathis, says, drop one of these things for show, but make sure it kills a few fuckers on the way. And he did. And all of a sudden, you know, people are going, I think I'm done with ISIS.
Right.
Talk about YouTube and flagging vids. So military has challenge coins, and I did a vid on the Moab challenge coin, and that damn vid got flagged. I'm like, it's a freaking challenge coin. Seriously? All right, whatever. I'm leaving it up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I can go watch the video from the other side, right? Because the other side actually filmed that shit too. You know, not just our stuff, right? But the other side films all that shit too. Whenever we drop something heavy, they got pictures.
Yeah.
Right. So you go watch, you know, local jihadi, whatever YouTube, and it's still up there. It's got a fucking ad on it.
Yeah. Go
And I get
Bangers
to watch
Anonymous.
I get to watch it. Yeah. You know. No, it's more like Bocce Boy Anonymous out there, right? So get away from their addiction to gay sex with children.
Oh,
you know?
Lord.
Yeah, this is the dragon, baby. This ain't no holes barred when it comes to the
dragon.
We talk about donkey porn, goat porn, cow porn.
The donkey
and all that
shows.
shit's coming out of Afghanistan. So,
yeah.
Or Hollywood, right? Because
or Hollywood.
Oh, Hollywood's falling apart, and I love it. You know, it's like
me too.
these actors and producers and stuff. They should have just left well enough alone. You know, have your business for entertainment. Stay out of politics. But I mean, it just shows how corrupt they really are.
Yeah, they got to go up against somebody who's a chauvinistic pig that wants to grab women by the pussy. But then they're gonna like, oh, I had no idea Weinstein grabbed.
I didn't know this was going on.
What the hell's going on here?
Right, where's the Million Woman March at the Harvey at Merrimack or fucking Weinstein Company or fucking Paramount, right? Where the fuck is that at? Where's the Million Woman March over at George H.W. Bush, who somebody just came out and said she got her ass grabbed by him fucking 15 years ago?
Oh, really?
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
So where's all
that just
where's all this? All the outrage when it's not fake outrage? Right? Where's Madonna? Madonna's standing next to Harvey Weinstein. That's where fucking Madonna is.
But she wants to go blow up she wants to go blow up the White House, but Weinstein's totally cool.
She was probably into Weinstein.
Yeah, probably. I mean, how
willingly, so she didn't know any better.
And that's the thing, right? So a lot of these women who ain't coming out, they knew exactly what they were doing, and they went along with it to further their careers. And why do people like Meryl Streep, who's ugly as a fucking, the back of my ass?
Oh, that's ugly.
Oh, is that a hairy ass?
And yet, and even at her supposed hottest, right, Silkwood, she was not fucking hot, right? I don't give a shit what anybody says, right? Now, she only got a career. Why? Because she was willing to go to the casting couch and do whatever clowns like Weinstein said. And she's not going to come out and try and back up the women that, wouldn't do what she did because she did it. She's like, well, fuck, that's the way that shit works. Why didn't you do it? How do you have a career without it?
Talent? Really?
Yeah. There's a level of hypocrisy that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a level of hypocrisy that just it baffles me in Hollywood, but it follows along the left, agenda as well. I mean, it's like the whole do what I.
It's the way they think.
Yeah.
It's the way they think. It's the way they're programmed to think. Is that no matter what I do. It's what I think. It's what I think or say is that what really matters. It's not what I actually do. It's not my action.
It's that I want to donate to a charity, not that I actually donated.
Well, if you listen to all their gun arguments, right? The majority of the gun arguments is I couldn't actually handle a gun because I'd take it out and go shoot somebody. Right? Yeah. That's what it comes down to with their arguments. It's not that they're worried about other people doing it. They know that's what they would do, or they're worried that that's what they would do.
I don't know about that, but they all have armed security. They can afford to
they
have
don't have to
personal
worry about it, right?
guards.
So yeah, and they have no problem. And I'm not talking about even the star liberals, even your lowest liberal. You go reading the forums on any gun control shit from the left, and you read it. You read people admitting to the fact that they couldn't own a gun because they'd want to go do something. And how many mass shooters do you see? Are they card carrying NRA Republicans?
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the Vegas stuff. I mean, I don't know if that's all true, but the dude, if it's true that guy was the shooter, I've seen a lot of stuff saying he was a Democrat, a liberal, all this stuff, but it's all downplayed.
Yeah.
Well, all the information from that guy's downplayed.
Yeah,
that's
so covered up. It's unreal.
Yeah. I said earlier, I think Hillary Clinton and the FBI of Eric Holder are behind it.
I mean, it's possible at this point.
Well, only because, how many times have they stopped a terrorist plot and said, hey, we stopped this terrorist plot. But in reality, what they did was they said, hey, guy that kind of wants to do a terrorist thing, we're terrorists too, and we got the stuff to make a bomb. And so they give them some, freaking talcum powder and like, oh, you're busted. You were and hey, we stopped a terrorist act. How messed up would it be if the FBI or some sort of government agency actually supplied this guy or some people with these firearms that happened in Vegas,
Yeah, I mean,
why else would it be so covered up, man?
It's like they know it's going to happen, or they have an idea. They let it happen, just so they can push the anti-gun agenda.
Well, even if they weren't going to let it happen, maybe they were going to stop it and say that they stopped another terrorist plot, and maybe they just didn't get to them in time, or something changed. I don't know, but
yeah,
somebody up high knows something. If it's not the MGM Grand or the people who own that Mandalay Bay, it's somebody.
I think the MGM. I think they're just trying to cover their asses to keep making money later. Personally, lawsuits. I don't think they realized what was going on at the time or whatever. I think now they're just like in a mode of we gotta cover our ass here because we need people to still come here, and because Vegas was one of my favorite go-to places for vacations and stuff. The few times I would get them, and so I'm signed up with a few emails, and I'm getting emails out the butt from MGM, wanting giving discounts to here and here and here, and it's like, they're hurting from this as a business side of it. On the political spectrum, God, it's so weird. Just the misinformation that's out there right now. And I am not into conspiracy theories. If Mule's here, he probably could attest to that because
you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. I know. I'm in the dragon now, right? That's all right. You know what? Question everything and then come to your own conclusions, type of thing. But there's just a lot of weird stuff with the Vegas thing. And think about, what people are going to think about this in 10 years. If there's this little information coming out now, what are people going to think in 10 years from now?
I mean, we knew more about the JFK assassination back in the 60s.
Yeah, in 2017, this is the modern age where we expect more information at this point than what is out there. That's
but
just,
maybe
that's
by
just
then,
a fact.
the NSA will get hacked and will be access to all the information they've been sucking up for years.
Yeah. Or you get a bunch of documents that are blacked out.
Yeah. Like we're going to get on Friday. Like we're going to get on Friday.
Yeah.
And well, let me tell you something, HD and Sting. Matt isn't a conspiracy theorist, and but he's more than willing to argue with you on shit that he
believes.
Here's
the thing. I wasn't a conspiracy theorist either. You remember?
Hold on, man. I know, and you know what? We stayed friends even after I changed you. So.
Oh, did he go to the third gender? Is that what he did?
Yeah. No, I changed him into a conspiracy.
So now he can shop at Target again. Good.
I got Singer his first tinfoil hat. I broke the wall.
He popped my cherry.
On that sense. You know,
with
and now
like,
now we got the real Cobra in here.
Oh Lord.
well, like with all
You're
these
next.
things, any of these stories, the biggest thing is you just know what they're telling you. The official line is BS. You know that's not the truth.
Yeah.
That's the starting point for half this stuff. Is like, well, I understand this isn't true, so I got to figure out with very little evidence and only a lot of conjecture and logical reasoning what the truth is. You're on your own, which is what leads a lot of the conspiracy theorists down.
I think Mule brought it up last week, where name one time the government hasn't lied to us, or maybe it was UHDP. I'm sorry if I misquote that, but
Could have been any of
somebody
us.
said,
Could have been Rebel.
yeah.
I think it was Reb.
Yeah, we'll blame him today. Hey, Matt, we'll blame you next week. It was the real Cobra Burnout that said it.
All right.
Yeah. Well, you know, when the security guard that made initial contact, the first appearance he makes is on Ellen DeGeneres. There's something amiss here.
Straight up propaganda.
And the
Weird.
people who own the Ellen show also own the Mandolin Bay. So they basically had their own people interview. That's like having Hitler doing the Nuremberg trials. Nuremberg. You know? Like, did you kill the Jews? No. Okay, I believe you.
Nope. Oh, yeah. There's a. I don't know if any of y'all are into World War I history, but there's so much more that led into the Second World War. It's crazy, and how much dirty fingerprints the British Empire had back in the day on that stuff. I don't know if you guys. They still do, yeah.
When you think about this, okay, so World War I's repercussions are even today because the whole Middle East was mapped out at the Treaty of Versailles.
Yeah.
Right? So how fucked up is they were just putting arbitrary lines, splitting up tribal families and causing strife for the next 100 fucking years, right? All because these empires wanted to divvy up the rest of the world at the end of the war.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. You know what I'm talking about.
And America was as bad. Okay, see, here's the thing that most people don't think is we're just as fucking, our government, not America as we the people, but America as the government, right, is just as fucking bad and has been for damn near as long because all the shit that's coming to fruition under our watch was set up 2 watches ago.
Well, that's why the whole country was kind of founded on separatism. Like, we weren't going to go and bother other people in their shit. We wanted to, keep to our own business. We're a snake that says don't tread on us, and we won't fucking bite you. Now we just go out and bite motherfuckers all the time.
Yeah, and that's the give and take of our country. It's like,
well, that's the
globalist
mentality. That's that globalist mentality that got started in the fucking World War One. You know, a lot of this shit comes from all those empires knew they were crumbling and they needed to support their whole system and their way of life and their family lines forever and ever and ever. Amen. Right. So they started working their magic because they knew it was all going to fall apart. So they had to find some way to basically keep it together through economics. That's where you come up with the Roth. Wait, let me get my Rothschild tinfoil hat out.
Yeah, if any of you guys want to know how to make a tactical tinfoil hat, I have a vid on that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll have to go look
Has
at
it got pockets? It's got pockets.
Yeah, I pissed off some people with that one. It was meant to be a joke, but whatever.
It's got Velcro too, right? You gotta have Velcro.
It's got to have a Faraday cage built in.
I'm sure it could be improved upon. Oh, Lord.
No, I think I had a booty one for a while, so yeah, I know what you mean.
We had a long fucking time ago. We actually had a tinfoil hat chat on the Green Dragon where everybody dressed up with a tinfoil hat. I remember that. That was hilarious. Some people were very creative with that.
Yep.
Well, you know, nowadays the real conspiracy is we don't have tinfoil anymore. We have aluminum foil. So I mean, the government has taken away the tin.
Right. Ever since World War II, probably.
Well, the real conspiracy is the fact that people just don't give a fuck. You can tell them, they'll go, okay, that's good. Watch with this fucking uranium thing with the Russia, right? It's going to turn out to be all fucking true. They're fucking traitors. They sold out the government. They fucking took shitloads of corrupt money, and people are going to go, I don't give a fuck. Kardashian's got a bigger ass.
Yeah,
today.
I don't. Yeah, they're gonna be like, I don't care because we hate Trump.
Hey, the Dodgers are winning the World Series. What else matters, right?
It all depends on the ends justify the means.
Well, no, it's just they hate Trump, right? They hate Trump. He's a Republican, no matter what happens, right? I mean, look, there were riots in the fucking streets in the United States, and they still think Obama's the goddamn savior.
Right.
Riots in the fucking streets in cities all over the country, and yet he's a fucking savior.
Yeah.
Right? And they should run Michelle. They should run Michelle in 2020.
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
yeah. Sure it isn't Chelsea? I thought Chelsea was running 2020.
Oh, I hope not. I'm starting to think Hillary's going to try to make another run at this thing because she has started to pop up in the limelight again. Unfortunately for her, she managed to fall down a flight of stairs again and break her toes or whatever. And it was late to some British, TV interview.
Can one of these days she hit her head?
It happened right after that. It happened right after that interview where they asked her about, what about this Uranium One deal, right? And the corruption that's coming out. And she said it's an old story. It's a rehash. The Republicans are doing it again. Oh, I broke my ankle. I'm getting out of the spotlight for a minute.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't she have a concussion after somebody asked her a fucking hard question too, or some shit like that? A few years back.
Yeah, she's typical Clinton. They can't remember anything when they're under subpoena and have to answer to Congress.
Oh yeah,
it was. They can write their memoirs.
It was the Benghazi thing.
Yeah,
she
Benghazi.
Had a concussion.
She don't remember anything, but
she remembers all about all her philanthropy and her good will and good works. And sniper fire in Bosnia.
Right.
Yes.
Big one.
Well, the one where they shot invisible bullets.
Yep.
Nice.
Now, some of you might not remember this, but some of you might, right? Does anybody remember that 3:00 in the morning phone call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody remember that? Yeah, against
the advertising
where Hillary was making it against Obama, right? And they both fucked it up when it came to Benghazi. It's just fucking look, and nothing's gonna happen to these people. They're gonna die in their fucking beds. Bill getting a blowjob by some tranny,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm rooting for jail time, but I'm not.
Look, I want to see him swing. I would love to see him in jail. I would love to see that fucking happen. Didn't happen to fucking Nixon. It ain't gonna happen to these people. There'll be pardons coming down. The parties will change. Blah blah fucking blah.
Well,
right?
Shoot, Nixon didn't do anything compared to what these people have done.
Oh, no doubt. Nixon's a fucking choir boy compared to these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't they have to have a Democratic president that actually give a shit to pardon them first and foremost? I mean, Obama can't pardon nobody no more.
Right.
Look.
And he might actually be held.
Trump will do it for the fucking good of the country, right? So he lets all the shit get exposed just before it becomes real trials. He pardons the bunch for the fucking good of the country, and they go on to write more fucking books. G. Gordon Liddy.
That would piss off a lot of his supporters.
But it would be in his second term, right? And for look, mark my words. And I wish it wasn't true.
Probably right. They'll get pardons before Bundy or anybody else will. So.
Look,
I would imagine.
He could have gotten, and this is what pisses me off. You want to know where I don't like Trump right now? Is that particular incident with Bundy and the BLM, because he talked shit about the BLM getting in, and nothing's happened on the Bundy case, and those men are still being held in torturous conditions, right, in a private fucking prison under solitary confinement in between their court dates. And their court dates are not a speedy fucking trial, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and look, I understand the guy's got more than enough shit on his plate, but I wish he could get to this one pretty fucking quick. It ain't the dessert. That's the goddamn appetizer.
Yeah, well, hard to say what's going on there.
Well,
they haven't said enough about it. They had what's his name go around looking at the different monuments, and they've decided that they're gonna try to they've stated they're gonna downsize some, but then nothing's happened so far. So It's more evaluation, more public feedback, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, well, that's that stuff that Matt was talking about. Those inner fucking plutocrats that are drilled into their fucking agencies that know they have to keep it going, or else they'll lose their fucking jobs, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be another fucking environmental, impact study, or else if there isn't, then they can go to fuck home and go work, go swing a hammer for a living, pick up garbage, whatever. Right? But as long as there's another fucking study, another thing they have to fucking check out, then they're still employed.
Yeah. Exactly. They're biding their time
they got house payments. They got kids to put through fucking college. They don't give two shits about the American people. They give a shit about their kid going to college. So if they gotta milk their fucking job for a 30-year career, they're gonna.
Oh yeah.
They want to move to the fucking California or someplace when they retire.
Oh, I saw today, speaking of California, they filed the petition. They filed the petition with the California Secretary of State to get the petition for California secession moved forward. So it's past the first stage, I guess. So
cool.
I love it.
That's a good thing. And then,
at this point, I'm not arguing. I'd love to keep the union together, but I think it may take a new civil war to do so. So fuck it, let's get going. Before
I
my
mentioned the
grandchildren
same
are
damn
older.
thing, and you're like, no, that would start a civil war, and that's not good.
True.
We need California. We need California for some fucked up reason.
No doubt, you're right. That was my stance. But you know what?
Here's what the fight's going to be over. You know what the fight? California can secede, great.
Yeah.
But when Jefferson says we're forming the state of Jefferson and staying with the Union,
yeah,
they're
not gonna like that.
When they have to pay for that water, we have to pay market rates for that water they've been stealing for 100 years.
Yeah,
that's what's going to get bad.
Yes, exactly, and it's all bad, right? So let's get this fucking shit started before my grandchildren get old enough, right? I started screaming at I didn't start screaming at the government, but I started doing videos while my children were still under draftable age, right? Now I have fucking grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to do this shit, let's get it started before my fucking grandchildren are able to stand next to my 70-year-old ass fucking holding a rifle. I'd rather it be my son next to my 50-year-old ass than my grandson's next to my 70-year-old ass. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's going to get ugly. So let's get it done. This is the thing that keeps bugging me. I hope the fucking November 4th thing goes off. I hope they burn down San Francisco, right? Knock yourselves out. Start the Civil War off right.
Flaming Queens.
Hey, start it off right. Burn all your own cities down, so it makes it easier for the rest of the country to come back, rebuild it, and occupy it. Go right ahead. Makes it much easier. If you destroy all your fucking cities.
I hope they abide by the same rules for guns, with the 10-round magazines and bullet buttons. All
that. They're training hard.
Sorry, I was totally off topic.
Well, you know what? They probably. I hope they fucking are. I mean, go knock yourselves out, right? Because if you're going to form a militia, communist militia that it is, you still have the right to do so in the United States, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're going to meet up against people who think differently than you and you want to fight, you're going to get in a fight.
That's what pisses me off, right? Conservatives, they see that they have every right to say what they want. Freedom of speech. They have a right to do some of this stuff as long as they're peaceful kind of thing. But, because we appreciate that they have the freedom of speech. But at the same turn, they do not reciprocate that.
They're communists. Why would they? Communists been killing people for hundreds of years.
I'm just saying, at some point, we got to be like, hey, maybe they shouldn't have that right either.
No, but in doing so, we stoop down to their level and then become no better than they are in their argument, right? The thing that's won the argument so long is the fact that, my argument's going to be better than your commie argument. Right? Yeah. It really comes down to just that. My argument for freedom is better than your communist argument.
Right.
Yeah.
I just
at some point though, you got to understand that they're a armed subversive force too.
Yes. But then if they raise their head, and this is where it'll be, look, if they jump out November 4th, who's going to take them down? It ain't going to be us, right? We were talking about this a little earlier. It ain't going to be us, right? It's going to be first the cops, then the National Guard, right? Then the Army, if it comes to that. And if it gets past the Army, then it's us, right?
Yeah.
Then it's we the people.
Yeah, and where are these people going to start this at? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to march into the suburbs? What's going on?
The only place makes sense is their own cities.
Yeah, are they going to block some highways again? You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the blocking of highways pisses me off to no end because
right.
Not only does pretty much every state or municipality have some type of statute on the books for you're not supposed to block, a thoroughfare like that for obvious reasons, but it just hasn't been enforced. That's what pisses me off. These people go out and they block it. More, in the later days here, we have seen some states or municipalities saying, yeah, if you get run over, that's your own fucking fault. But
well, they don't want to seem insensitive, right? If they went out there and stopped them from doing that, they'd be trampling on their rights. And they'd be, white supremacists.
And that's the thing. Like, that's I have no problem with people protesting in this country because that's a constitutional right. But you have to do it in the right place. I mean, across a highway. Where number one, you put
that's not the right place.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in danger. Okay, fuck that. But you're now putting someone else in danger that might hit you or try to avoid hitting you and cause harm or death to themselves. So now you've placed someone else in danger. Yeah, you've placed someone else in danger. You even if you manage to block off the road successfully, now you worries out